Words reorganize minds. Think of language like Lego bricks. Most people stack the same boring blocks, build the same square houses, and defend them like castles. You learn to rearrange them. You don't add more bricks. You redesign the castle. And when you do, people suddenly see towers, bridges, windows they didn't even know existed. And you already do this without realizing it. When your friend is spiraling and you crack a joke, you rewire their state. When a child cries and you distract them with, look, a butterfly, you don't fix the problem, you shift the frame. That's hypnosis. That's repatterning. Science backs this up. The brain, it's a pattern recognition machine. When you scramble the pattern, metaphor, paradox, reframe, it panics, resets, and reorganizes at a higher level, like rebooting a frozen laptop. That's why your words can program minds. If you don't, you're the hoarder. Imagine a house stuffed with junk, beliefs from childhood, dogmas from dead teachers, hand-me-down fears. You defend this crap like, don't touch my broken toaster, it still sparks. Meanwhile, your life suffocates under the clutter. That's what happens when you argue facts instead of upgrading frames. Your identity, it's not stone, it's code. And every belief that you update is like a patch note. Bug fix. Stop believing I need to be right all the time. Performance upgrade. Increased confidence by 200%. New feature unlocked. Ability to frame conversations like a Jedi. You already do this. Remember when you learned to ride a bike? You weren't you anymore. You were you plus bike. Or when you learned to drive, suddenly you became a car with arms. Identity is elastic. Every new skill rewires who the hell you are. If you resist the update, you become the stubborn bastard still running Windows 95, cursing the Wi-Fi, wondering why nothing loads, outdated, lagging, vulnerable to viruses, belief viruses. Arguing facts is like two kids screaming over whose toy is better. Shifting context is like saying, why not invent a new game where we use both? Content fights drain energy. Context frames multiply energy. And you already do this. Ever walked into a fight between friends and said something so weird they both stopped arguing? That pause, that tilt of the head, that's the context shift. That's power. If you don't learn this, you keep shadowboxing, trying to win fact wars in an age where everyone has Wikipedia in their pocket. That's a losing game. Confusion opens a loop. The prefrontal cortex freezes. All patterns destabilize, and the unconscious steps in to fill the gap. That's when you install a new map. If you don't, you repeat the same mistakes. Like a man who keeps marrying the same type of partner, wondering why it always ends the same. That's karmic recycling. Same pain, different packaging. If you do, you cut the loop. You evolve. Of course you're afraid. Afraid people will think you're manipulative. Afraid you'll be misunderstood. Afraid to play wizard in a village of peasants. But here's the truth. People, they're already manipulated every day by advertisements, politicians, TikTok algorithms. Better it comes from you, conscious, intentional, healing, than from some faceless machine selling them more junk. The stuck patterns to break, needing to be right. Like a dog barking louder and louder, thinking volume wins. Arguing with facts, like throwing pebbles at a tank. Clinging to beliefs, like wearing winter coats in summer because it's what I've always done. Hoarding identity, like refusing to delete apps until your phone crashes. Interrupt these patterns and you free life force. Leave them running, you suffocate slowly. Here's the ninja move. Pace, step into their world, agree with their pain. Yeah, life feels heavy. Then lead, tilt the map. And imagine what happens when you move one piece. Suddenly, everything shifts. Rapport comes from resonance. Influence comes from subtle dissonance that invites a new tune. If you master this, conversations become sculpting clay. You shape identities, heal trauma, inspire vision. You feel like a magician because in truth, you are, wielding words like wands. If you don't, you keep hammering nails with your forehead, exhausted, misunderstood, winning petty arguments while losing the deeper game of influence. So let me hammer this in. You either upgrade or you stagnate. You either become the architect of frames or the prisoner of someone else's. You either dance with context like a jazz musician riffing, or you argue content like a drunk shouting sports stats at a TV. Your words are magic spells. Your identity is software. Your beliefs are jackets you can swap. Your job is not to hoard junk, but to renovate your mental house so wide and luminous people walk in and say, "Holy shit, I never saw it that way before." So from this moment forward, every time you notice yourself about to argue facts, your unconscious smirks and whispers, shift the frame. Every time fear whispers, "Don't change," you laugh. Because you know stagnation is the real danger. Every word you speak now reorganizes thought, yours, theirs, like a sculptor chiseling stone into form. And each moment you update your identity. You don't lose yourself. You discover the next upgraded version of you, who is always becoming. So here it is. Stop clinging to broken maps. Stop shadowboxing facts. Loosen your identity. Upgrade mid-stride. Speak like the architect you are. Dance in the space where context lives. Because that's where real influence, real power, and real freedom are. Do it, and your life expands like a universe in bloom. Don't, and you stay stuck in a dusty hoarder's attic, defending broken lamps while the world passes by. The choice is simple. Upgrade the map, move the furniture, dance the dance.